Welcome to the Medieval Content channel. These video essays are mere opinion pieces, perhaps a siphon of energy for you to listen to my wiry voice, or a reach of the ether of thoughts to the thoughts of time that listen with a cornucopia of opinions on par, or to spar with mine. They are neither, merely to project thoughts that I feel are worth speaking. So, it is up to you if they are worth hearing. So if they are, give this video whatever reaction you believe necessary. So, on that train of thought, to the thoughts that thought the reenactment community is wrought for taut drama, this stream of consciousness is regarding controversy in the reenactment community and how it bleeds into the show, and my opinions on whether that may or may not be a good thing, as well as perhaps some advice on how to perhaps perceive, per se, your purchase on these per-minute altercations. First, clouds, but true controversy within the community itself. The tension that rises like heat between teeth and seethe like the scenes we see, but permeates between each of us all. In my time doing reenactment and just about anything on this planet, there are far too many humans, and if you put enough of us in one location, we're either going to get on or go against one another. Sometimes this is to the benefit of the show. There have been times where I've taken true tension and drama risen between either myself and another, or others, and used that to enrich the show. Case example. One I've already voiced my opinion on, and thus I'm not betraying any thoughts for or against. During my time as King Alfred, we had an import reenactment group for our show that had the duty of merely playing set dressing. However, they were rowdy. They did make attempts to insert themselves into, I would say, a minimal amount, but at least I would say whether that was intentional or simply just going along with the energy of the show is none of my business, but distracting. I have no qualms with the group or its leader, and personally found the distractions and interactions simply add to the show we performed with minimal issues. Every show has something you could do better or cut, and I'd say the same of those interactions as if it were a part of the show. Why would you, and I'm addressing the director at the time, put people of obvious personality in a spot and tell them to be quiet, then gasp when they do exactly what you know them for doing? You cannot blame a Dane for being a Dane. However, the tension was enough that I could sense that if something wasn't spoken or done about it, then perhaps the show itself could actually be derailed to an amount that would bury the festival, bury, honestly, all those involved, and cause unwanted attention or drama that crosses a line that I will refer to later in this essay. So, naturally, playing devil's advocate, I went to this individual and their group and asked them to rile it up even more, if at least with me personally. If you've listened to the podcast, this essay will outline why, but I enjoy ribbing the cast more than the crowd. If the crowd sees something go awry, they don't know it. If something goes off script, they aren't aware and they don't really care. But if the cast knows what's supposed to happen and it doesn't, then that's when emotion and tension and reactions are real. That's when the show becomes reality. That's what I want. That's what I thrive for. I don't care about the piped-in noise that the cast are instructed to perform. I don't care about your petty boos and cheers that are canned, plastic, and unwanted to my ears. I want you pissed. I want you in love. I want you to be ready to jump that line and kill me or celebrate with me. The moment it all becomes real, that's when you've hooked the audience. That is when, with a clear line present, that we do not cross. So, unfortunately, when I spoke with this individual and praised them for their group and their interaction on our board and egged them on for more, it actually simmered down. However, that year and many other years had many wonderful moments of reality that truly threw the cast out into uncharted territory, as a show should, in order to fool the audience, in order to drag the audience into this realm where reenactment becomes reality, becomes the thing they must come back to see because they have no clue what's going to happen next, but they need to see it worse than the worst shows you find on these plastic streaming channels. There have been other moments for me joke slammed and just milking it, to seeing directors fight on the board with no one knowing why until we laugh about it backstage. If you want to get the crowd in the palm of your hand, then you need to get the cast in it too. As an actor, I want to interact with the crowd on such a level that makes them think they're involved or want to get involved. If I'm playing the villain, I want you to have the burning need to put a gun to my head, because if you don't, then the queen will burn at the stake. If I'm the good guy, I want you to feel like you need to jump the rail and help me defeat the bad guy. Or else we may never win, because we need you to prop us up, lend us your energy, and together we are one against the vile force of whoever the other side is. We are the show, not just the cast, not just the crew. The audience is also the show. We watch your reactions, we feel your emotions. We need you as much as we want you to need us. The eyes of those who will never know, seeing it for the first time, feeling it for the first time. That is what using controversy can do for your show. If two people hate each other, but are at least professional enough to put differences aside for the show, then use that hatred, that vitriol. Use it and create magic. If you are in love and that can't be contained, then use it and create wonder. That said, of course, though I may be an advocate for letting the lines blur during the show, just enough to snatch a real moment on the board or in the lanes, there is a line that must be drawn. There have been times where there are individuals I will not work with, even on a professional level, and I must stand by that. If you cannot do something due to the controversy it creates or what already exists, then you should communicate that with your director and let them know, so that it is something that does not boil over into burying the show. Never get to the point of being kicked off cast. Never get to the point of being banned from the show. Every year there is cast drama involving getting a fight, not getting a fight, what is and isn't fair, favorites, opinions about how things are or are not being done, costuming, accuracy, inaccuracy. These thoughts are not new and they're not special to you. To this kind of controversy, I would say something that I myself have learned in the face of it. Don't worry about it. It happens every year. Just enjoy being with your friends. Make the best of the year. Put yourself over during the show. Grow as a person and an actor so that the next year you've shown them better and can triumph and reach the goal that you wanted to reach this year. There will always be years where you're going to be upset, not into it, or something pricks you the wrong way. We are with the ones we love, and we are doing what we love. So these kind of controversies can be forgiven as just kind of part of doing a reenactment, part of doing a show. You're not always going to agree with something, and that's okay. If you love the show, communicate your thoughts, but know that we can't change everything and everyone. Try to see their perspective and understand it. Or, importantly, don't let controversy bury you, because you will be defined by it. There are some things, however, we must put our feet down on. We live in a world of too many humans, as I mentioned above, and not all of them have the best of intentions. As I mentioned, there have been people I simply will not work with, and simply will not tolerate in my presence. To those individuals, no place in reenactment. The racists, rapists, supremacists, elitists, selfish or dangerously selfish, whatever your line is, it is your line. But those are just some of mine. If you find a group that is okay with any of those that I've mentioned, which I've merely plotted out some extremes, then that group is not worth being with. If any one of those tries to enter your group, they are worth fighting against to remove. No show needs that kind of controversy, and no one that brings it belongs in our community. It's one thing to use the negative and or positive energy and rib the cast with it, or just for a genuine reaction, but it's another to step on the line of your morals and integrity and let it tangle with the laces of those that, as humans, can never lace your boots. They belong in the ground, not performing for the crowd. Whatever your thoughts on using reality to spice your shows or letting the spice of life burn the bridge between those you know, I hope this meager stream of conscious video essay made you at least think. Never try to stir the pot, but if the stew is brewing, it's always good to give a little taste. Maybe add some salt or sugar, but keep things moving and never let it spill. My opinions are not to be taken as right or wrong, not to be seen as end-all or be-all, but merely food for thought, if you thought about them. You may agree, and that's valid. You may disagree, and I believe that too is the right side of things. So, until then, may David Bowie's gift of music light your way.